Alafia. I'm Philip John Neimark, the founder of IFA Foundation International. I'd like to welcome you to another iteration of the weekly Ifascope. The weekly Ifascope, of course, is predicated on the fact that it's impossible for me to know the events of thousands of you that will take place in the coming week. But it is not impossible for me to communicate with Orunmila to see how exactly you can handle these events to maximize the results. After all, Orunmila has been observing and monitoring these events for thousands of years. So even though they may be different, some are going to be relationship issues, some are going to be job issues, some are going to be money issues or health issues or whatever. Even though there's an infinite variety of things that can happen, the attention that must be given to the emotional response that we give to that is key to whether or not we allow that information to bother or destroy us, or we allow that information to propel and exhilarate us. Speaking of that, if you'd like to know a little bit more about how this functions and other things function, I would remind you that my wife, Ifascope, does the WebEx once a week. It's by invitation only, but you can obtain an invitation by simply sending her an email to Ifascope. You can find the address under our site, the IFAFoundationInternational.org site, and under the contact, by the way, you'll see Ifascope, and say, hey, I haven't been able to do this, but I would very much like to do it. There's no cost, there's no obligation, there's nothing that you have to do except one, have a computer, hopefully have a camera so that you can participate if you wish, and a good set of ears for getting the information on Ifa that in large part has been kept a secret from you for thousands of years. Remember, there are no secrets. So let's take a look at this week. This week, we make a rather huge leap forward on our ability to have some interesting transformational things happen. But it comes from an Odu, which is quite significant. It comes from an Odu Otura Meiji. Now, for thousands of years, we accepted the fact that Otura was a Odu which talked about rest, relaxation, those kinds of things for us. And it's only in the last probably 40 or 50 years that we've added something to that. We add something to that based upon the analysis of the society, the socioeconomic situation, the politics, everything that's involved in the Western world in the decision-making process. And it seems that there began to be, some years ago, probably 15 or 20 years ago, a distinct need for the diviner or the person involved to let other people speak, to try to have more empathy and understanding, not to go off and say, hey, this is the way it is, and this is what we're doing, and blah, 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 blah. All right? So here on each of our sides, the temporal side and the emotional spiritual side, it says this is how we must behave. That if we can bring a greater amount of empathy to the table, and by the way, you would be shocked to see the worthwhile ideas that other people have. Now, a lot of people are going to simply be venting. Let the vent. It has to get out of the way. But once either the good ideas or the bad ideas have been presented, then bring your ideas to the table, and they will undoubtedly work and be successful for you. What's the likely area of impact? What couldn't be nicer, because it's our destiny. I mean, of everything that we do, whether it's health, money, success, any of those things, destiny is the whole shot. It's taking a look at us in our totality and saying, how are we doing on the path of Ifa? And right now, we're doing rather well. The sign for destiny, by the way, the Odu, was Agunda Meiji, which says we need to be, again, both the emotional and spiritual side, totally committed to continuing to do that which we are doing right now. Don't be pulled away, don't be dissuaded, don't get it done. And in getting it done, we are strongly on path for that fork in the road of which we're destined to take the right path. You see, very many people ask me, what is the meaning of destiny? Is it just a pat on the back? Well, no, it isn't. It's suggesting that the individual or group of individuals have come to that point in the road, a path, as it were, and one, leg of the path goes to the right, one leg goes to the left, whatever it may be, but that we are in the process of making that turn in the right direction, in keeping with Ifa's concept, philosophy, and worldview. Again, very, very powerful. And what is the abo necessary for this? Well, it couldn't be clearer. It's simply cool water. We take cool water and we put it on our ori, because it's our ori that represents our destiny. And ask our ori to give us the insight, the understanding, the discipline to carry this out, to go on this next leg of our journey with our heads held high and our principles held even higher. You could light a candle to Ori, but for sure, crown of your head, place cool water 3 times and say the prayer. Until next week, love and blessings.